Good afternoon, class. So today is 13th of March and we will have to cover the current affairs of today. The first news is again I was telling you yesterday that with regard to the Quad leaders, what they intend to, what they want to, and what are the prepositions, future, vision, and the coordination they want to seek among themselves. Now, in that particular part, they have highlighted two of the main agendas they want to cooperate on. The one is the open, free Indo-Pacific that they really wanted to work on, and then there is the need of the pursuing the united democratic values regarding the COVID vaccines, the three agendas that have already been selected: COVID vaccine, the climate change, and the core technologies. So these are the three things that they have talked about, and there will be further cooperation regarding that. Already, China have issued a statement that whenever the multiple parties or the multiple countries are getting together with one another, they should not be targeting the third party in the sense that Quad is currently doing. And India have said that we do not have any military alliance. This particular grouping that has come up is a result of the coordination, sharing equal values and vision for the future in the region, which is not targeted against any individual country. So I hope this is clear. The next is the bureaucrats cannot be state election commissioners. This is said by Supreme Court. Now, why this controversy have occurred? There were some states, specifically the case of Goa, in which there was a particular law secretary who was appointed as the additional charge of the state election commissioner. Now, in that particular part, the Supreme Court have ramped up to the government and the state government over there that you cannot do such things because it is a constitutional post, and under the constitutional post, they needed to be have independent opinion, and this additional charge is a mockery of the Constitution of India. And as soon as the constitution mandate is there, there should be no interference from the government in any part or in any kind. So this is what they have suggested, and sooner or later, I think all of the state election commissioner would be appointed in a manner that would be basically helpful for the independence of that particular agency, and also would help in the better conduct of the election at the state level. So I hope you understand state election commissioners generally conduct the election for the panchayat and the municipal corporation, and they do not have any mandate beyond that. The election commission conduct the elections for the state governments and the central government or the union government, you can say. Okay, further moving on. The next news is related to the Haryana budget focusing on health and agriculture. So the budget length is approximately 1.55 lakh crore, in which 25% is the capital outlay expenditure and 75% is the revenue expenditure. Now, in that particular part, there is also allocation for the sustainable development goals that is required, that has also been hiked. It has been presented as a type of a health budget that is presented by the state for the welfare of the people, in which certain money has been earmarked for specific benefit of the health sector. So I hope this is clear. I will not go into detail. Now, the one article that we will discuss today is the freedom of the media. Now, I hope you remember the Digital Media Ethics Code Rule 2021, which provide a three-tier mechanism with respect to the regulation, confirmation, and grievance mechanism in the digital aspect. Now, this has been criticized by a lot of organizations, specifically the digital news media. Now, this particular article that is written by Shashi Kumar have been written from same prospect from the freedom of expression, that whether the government is trying to intentionally or unintentionally trying to provide a mechanism that could curb the freedom of expression of the individual who are very critical of the government in all aspects as compared to the mainstream media that is not so critical, and maybe the third pillar of democracy need a further support from other part where it will be more critical of the objective and the functioning of the government. Now, what are the issues here? The issues with respect to the digital news, in which the executive think themselves that they have the deciding right to protect the users from the media of the informed choices that they are currently making from the news or the critical analysis that they are currently getting from the news. So for example, there are a lot of online platforms such as we have the print, the wire, and the BBC. Although they write, I think, very negative things about India, but that is another opinion to say. But maybe some critical analysis has been done by them, so that will provide us the clear picture of the issues, what we intend to do, what we seek to do, and in where the government is failing. Now, in that particular part, maybe we need to have a climate of introspection, climate of inquiry and the climate of upholding or dissent that is needed to be respected by the government. But in the current scenario, we are not seeing anything of that happening. There are a lot of things that are currently happening in which the government is slowly and steadily making process, and inch by inch it is trying to basically get a hold on the news media. Now, for the small news media, that is the digital news media, it is detrimental because you have provided a grievance mechanism, and the big lobbies of the BJP and the other parties that are currently ruling, for example, Congress and other, they can file a grievance mechanism individually against anything that this particular digital news media can publish, and it will provide them huge burden with respect to the fighting of cases in the high courts. The second one is the digital media is already fighting for the cash balances. So in spite of having a particular law in place, as happened in the case of Australia, in which the digital news media or the intermediaries such as Google and Facebook have to pay a certain type of money to the digital media and the other media for the usage of the content by these particular agencies. So they have been called to have a negotiations, and a substantial amount has been negotiated between the two parties so that it will provide a feasible solution for the survival of the both entities who are dependent on one another. And I think we already have discussed about that majority of the online revenue, when it is generated, it is going to the Google and Facebook. In total, they are currently amounting to 54% to the Google and 23% to the Facebook. So in totality, there is approximately 78% of the total revenue that is generated online is being directly transferred to these big giants, and this have created an imbalance in the news factory, and also what the Google wanted to show, or what the Google wanted to basically paint a particular country in a particular picture. Now, it seems critical of this particular scenario that you are trying to hold, or the executive are basically trying to contain all the decent or all the small digital media, because they are today considered as the harbinger of that essence, as compared to the other media that is situated in the mainstream media, which is currently most of the time touted as a another extension of the government agenda. So these are some of the things that he says that needed to be upheld. Then we talk about the fourth estates. What are the draconian rules that the government is trying to place? There may be normalcy today, there may be further tightening tomorrow. So these are some of the issues they have highlighted, and they have said that this is not good for the functioning of any kind of democracy where the dissent or any kind of critical analysis is being held up by any of the people, or specifically the executive. They should be not directly involving in the curbing of any of the freedom of speech that people want to have. The next one is the casting the Asian dice on the West Asian board. So two issues about it. Saudi Arabia and the West Asian countries are basically the huge source of oil that is imported by India and also some countries in the Asian region. Now, what happened that there was a lot of demand of oil by USA up till last year from Saudi Arabia also. Now, the interest with Saudi Arabia, or the protection of the certain countries in Saudi Arabia, was highly required for for the country of America. Therefore, they have invested in there. Now, what happened over time that there have been a lot of changes in the Western Asia. We have a Iran challenge that is emerging up. Iran is increasing its foothold in the Yemen and the Syria war. Then there is Abraham Accord between Israel, UAE, and Bahrain, in which they have talked about of basic cooperation with respect to the military and opening the trade prospects among them. So Israel also become a party. Now India is also concerned because India want to protect the interest, the power interest that we have in the West Asia. If West Asia is not stable, then definitely India will lose on the amount of oil it needed to have. Now there are various tactics that are currently happening in India. For example, in 2013, there was a Indian oil tanker called as MT Desh Shanti that has been basically taken away, or has been cordoned off at Bandar Abbas. So this is at the Strait of Hormuz, where the Iranian forces have taken them. So at that particular time, there were also certain sanctions that were implemented on Iran, and Iran had basically hijacked this particular oil tanker, and it was only released after Indian government talked with the Iranian authorities. So these kind of things are sooner or later going to be happening. So although I think with respect to Iran, the US government is currently not having so much of hard line as it had earlier, because the existence of the Joe Biden have already announced that there will be extension of the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action and the deal will be signed, provided Iran comply to all the things that are listed in the act. So these are some of the things. Now then is the too bad option of Afghanistan. So I hope you remember with respect to Afghanistan, we have multiple talks regarding this particular issue. But Mr. Joe Biden says there is a dilemma of two issues, either a early exit or either a continuing exit. So these are the two options that they are currently swinging like a pendulum between the two options. The first option details that there will be immediate withdrawal as from the Qatar deal. It has been suggested that the withdrawal will come as soon as the 1st of May. But the proponents of the critics of the deal says that if there is exit of USA from this particular country, there may be emerging aspiration in the Taliban which will gain on territory, money and material, and it will be detrimental for the peace that needed to be ensured in Afghanistan. There will be more war and the whole efforts or the things that have been made forward for ensuring the peace still could be compromised. So some of the agencies are suggesting that the USA should not withdraw from here, but it is really up to the USA to decide what they want to do. So for this, they have tried to negotiate a deal between Taliban and the Afghan government, and that deal will be held in Turkey, in which the various parties along with India are invited to take a participation in that. China is also there, Russia is also there. So every party will be talking over there and they will be deciding that what the future holds for Afghanistan. Basic premise of the USA seems like that they want Taliban to sit on the table and also share a seat in the government of Taliban, which the Afghan government is highly critical of. And in that particular part, when the deal was also negotiated in the previous time during the time of Trump, there was an issue in which Afghan government was forced to comply to the norms that has been listed by Afghanistan, but the Taliban did not relent it under pressure of the USA. So that have also created a power imbalance between the two entities that are ruling over there. One is the Afghanistan government and second one is the Taliban. So we will have to see what this future will bring and what will happen in the near future. Okay, further moving on, the next news is related to India and China to continue LAC talks. So as the disengagement is happening, there are a lot of talks that, however, how the further phase of negotiation will be held, and the people are saying that there will be more critical negotiations that will be happening directly or indirectly, and there will be issues that they will be conforming to, and the talks that they will be conforming to directly or indirectly. So exclusive blocks should not target third-party China. I have already told you there is nothing in it, so please do not go about this particular article. Okay, further moving on, stop influx from Myanmar. Center have issued two-line warning to the states that you should not accept any influx from Myanmar. The first is that India or the states do not have the power to basically issue the refugee status. And the second one is that India is not a signatory to the UN Refugees Convention, so under no obligation to accept any of the refugees from any of the countries. I hope this is clear. The next one is the Modi flags of Padyatra to commemorate Salt March. So Azadi Ka Amrit Utsav will also be launched. There will be certain 81 people who will be walking from Sabarmati to Dandi, the 386-kilometer path that they will take, and they are talking about the 5 agendas at 75, freedom at 75, ideas at 75, achievements, actions and resolve at 75. So that is the Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, under which the 5 things are being listed, and this is how they are going to issue that particular agenda. The next one is the center reply sought on the plea against Places of Worship Act. So this Places of Worship Act was enacted in I think 1947. Sorry, enacted in 1991. Now what the Congress government said? Congress government said that the flows of the places of worship will be those territories who were on 15 August 1947. So whatever the situation of the places of worship on 15 August 1947, only they can be continued. Now there is an appeal that is filed in the Supreme Court regarding the places of worship, that this is highly arbitrary, irrational and retrospective. It should not be there. And as there are a lot of things that are currently working here, the principles of the secularism basically needed to be upheld. The state should stay away from putting any blanket ban, because every person is free under his conscience to practice whatever or profess any of his religion or any of things he want to pursue. So you should stay away from that. So the Supreme Court have asked the opinion of the center, what they want to do and what they do not want to do. The next news is related to US NSA implies ally situation discussed at Quad meetings. So the Jake Sullivan, that is the United States National Security Advisor, have said that there were certain references to the LSA situation regarding the border problem between India and China and the threat that China posed with respect to the neighboring countries in maintaining the security and the association. But there have been no direct interferences. There was just a discussion and it was not the agenda of the meeting. The agenda of the meeting we have already talked about. One was the agenda of Indo-Pacific and second was the agenda with respect to the three C's that we talked about, the core technologies in the or the critical technologies in the emerging areas. Then we have COVID and then we have climate change. These are the three main C's that we have talked about. Russia for Taliban inclusion in the Afghan interim government. Russia have backed the inclusion of Taliban in the Afghan government. So I think maybe it is going to happen and bound to happen already. It has been recognized by all the countries around the world. Right now, Taliban is designated as a terrorist organization in the UN list, but still it is at the front of the negotiating with every big countries because it have gained so much ground, and every country know that without the cooperation of the Taliban, there can't be any ensuring peace between the or in the situation of Afghanistan, and there will be no headways that could be made in the Afghanistan politics without taking Taliban over the board. The next one is the inflation quickens as January IAP contracts. So inflation is increasing and the index of industrial production is decreasing. That means the industries are not making profit and they are not making conducive business, and the inflation or the cost of the prices is increasing. There are two major things with respect to the oils and fats. The prices have increased by 20% on average, so that is a huge increase, and you will see the direct or indirect effects of the increase in the prices. Certainly the prices of the pulses and all other things that are coming through transportation from one place to another would have directly or indirectly increased, so you should remember about them. And then there is center to infuse 14,500 crore into the bank under PCA soon. So this is prompt corrective action under which the money of 14,500 crore will be infused, and the government have said that in the case of capital infusion there will be 20,000 crore that will be allocated to the bank, so the capacity of the bank to lend the loan could be increased. And there are prompt corrective action currently working on three banks called as Indian Overseas Bank, the Central Bank of India and the UCO Bank. If you do not understand what is a prompt corrective action, please go to the economic notes. There it has been listed that what is prompt corrective action. So basically whenever a particular provision of a bank is currently flouted, then there are certain set of instructions that Reserve Bank of India have laid out that if you are not going to follow this is the restriction that will put on you. So first is related to the Tier 1 capital, then there is the expansion of the branches and the expansion of the ATMs, then there is further making provision for different kind of assets that are not going to be returned. ठीक है, तो इस तरह के 2 3 4 स्टेप हमारे पास हैं, तो उनको पढ़िएगा. So I think that is it for today.